India
This is good. We had this morning and we never got around to it. Perfect. I appreciate you. India's military. How strong is it really? Do you guys still use elephants? Do you have elephants with lasers attached to their freaking foreheads?
boasts one of the world's largest military in
Really?
terms of budget allocation.
Nice. Like, where are we ranking? Like, top 3?
The country spent over 81.4 billion US dollars, which is higher than Japan, the United Kingdom, South Korea, Germany, France, and a list of others.
In all fairness, India is much bigger than all of those places. Like, I think you could fit 10 Japans inside of India.
India, for the most part, is actually the 4th largest spender in defense,
Top 5.
just behind the US, China, and Russia.
Makes sense.
This is a considerable feat, an achievement done through years of systemic planning, strategic alliances, and relentless focus. But in reality, just how big is India's military? Is $81.4 billion a reflection of that? Well, the thing about military spending is that it only reflects one perspective.
Yo, that's badass. That's a weapon.
The totalitarian view. It misses out on several factors. In today's video, we will try to actually understand just how significant
US spends 1 trillion? Yeah, that's what we report. I bet you it's more like 2 to 3.
India's military has become. This is important because India is now ramping up its military prowess, slowly trying to stand up against the world's superpowers.
This is what worries me is all these major countries are just ramping up their military. Like something's bound to happen.
Especially against the aggression of China.
Which is terrifying because I don't want nothing to happen.
Furthermore, India has a unique geographical placement that further magnifies the importance of a robust defense system.
Absolutely.
Bounded by the Himalayas in the north, oceans on 3 sides, and sharing borders with several nations, including 2 nuclear-armed neighbors, India's defense strategy has always required a comprehensive, multi-dimensional approach. It also has long-standing territorial issues, especially on the northwest and northeast frontiers, coupled with its desire to play a pivotal role in regional stability, have been key drivers in shaping its military strength. So to begin, let us first begin in understanding the military. Officially known as the Indian Armed Forces, it consists of 3 departments: the Indian Army, Indian Navy, and the Indian Air Force. On top of these, they are supported by sub-branches such as the Indian Coast Guard, Strategic Forces Command, and a long list of others.
It's kind of fascinating to see how different militaries are set up. And like we have the army, the Marines, the Navy, and the Air Force. We also have the Green Beret, the Special Army Rangers. There's like a lot of different sub branches as well.
In total, the Indian Armed Forces have over 1.4 million active personnel, which makes it the 2nd largest, just behind China. The Indian Army, the largest branch of the armed forces, has a role in land warfare. The Indian Army has a long history, fought numerous wars, and serves as the backbone of the entire national defense. It is headed by the Chief of Army Staff, General Manoj Pandey, followed by a series of vice chiefs, deputy chiefs, and other generals. In terms of equipment, the Indian Army uses a variety of weapons, from small handguns to tank destroyers. A number of their small arms are either acquired abroad or manufactured locally. These can range from handguns to assault rifles and sniper rifles. Acquired from another country, they range from old-class Soviet Union to modern-day Israel, and of course, the United States.
Yeah, of course, because we know we're supplying the whole world with guns and ways to kill each other.
In terms of land vehicles, the Indian Army has several armored combat vehicles. The Indian Army operates the Russian T-90 tanks, but they also operate the locally manufactured Arjun tank. Several other land-based equipment, from tank destroyers to infantry fighting vehicles and armored personnel carriers, are manufactured locally as well. This proves that the Make in India, an initiative sought by the government, has been working. This also segments the fact that India's military power is not limited to foreign suppliers. Now, on top of these land-based vehicles, the Indian Army also boasts a considerable number of artillery and missiles. The Pinaka
India is the largest importer to arms? Interesting.
Multi-barrel rocket launcher has the capabilities to shoot down enemies from approximately 70 kilometers away.
They really saw the Iron Man movie and said, bet, let's make it.
The Indian Army also has its own air defense system. Now let us move on to the Indian Navy. The Navy is a smaller branch compared to the Army, but it is as essential. The Navy, by its name, operates ships, mostly warships and submarines. Just like the Army, the Navy has its own chain of command, which starts with the Chief of Naval Staff, and then Vice Chief, Deputy Chief, and so on. The equipment of the Navy is arguably more exciting to know than the Army. Some of the most expensive acquisitions made have always been from the Navy. Submarines, warships, and aircraft carriers are far, far more expensive than a tank. To start off, let us first understand the submarine fleet of the Indian Navy. India boasts its own nuclear-powered submarine.
That's insane.
The INS Arahant cost a whopping $2.9 billion US, jointly developed by the Indian Navy, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and Defense Research and Development Organization.
And this thing's powered by like a nuclear reactor? Like what's in Iron Man's chest?
The submarine weighs over 6,000 tons and is equipped with a tremendous missile force. But to begin with, what really makes this stand out is its price tag. These are attuned and can go head-to-head with some of the world's most dangerous submarines. On top of that, the Indian Navy boasts other naval fleets. The famous one is the Vikrant class, an aircraft carrier. The INS Vikrant, as it's sometimes called,
look at the front of that thing, how it's like slightly like up forward, so I guess the plane, it's not like straight, so the planes have like a little bit of a better liftoff. That's crazy.
Is over 45,000 tons, 13 years in the making, with the capacity to hold 30 fighter planes and helicopters, around 860 feet long and 197 feet tall, and cost over $2.5 billion. Indian leader Modi called it a floating city. India also boasts some guided missile destroyers such as the Kolkata class and Delhi class, 2 frigates and corvettes. Probably one of the most
I love the names, the frigates, the corvettes. I love the names of these military ships.
famous acquisitions to date came from Israel. In 2018, it was reported that the Indian Navy was to receive the Barak 8 missile defense system from Israel at a deal costing over $777 million.
I just don't understand why another company or country would develop a weapon like that and then sell it to another country. For them to use on what?
The Barak 8 missile defense system, jointly developed by Israel Aerospace Industries (IAI), India's DRDO, and others, is an operational air and missile defense system that can defend against short to long-range airborne threats. And now let's move on to the last branch,
Jesus
the
Christ.
Air Force. The Indian Air Force has duties in the skies, while the Navy and the Army has a significant task. Arguably the most fearsome of all has always been the Air Force. It can strike down the most important land vehicles to even aircraft carriers. On its equipment, it holds some of the world's best and fastest aircrafts, procured mostly from foreign countries. Some of the most advanced aircrafts employed is the Sukhoi Su-30 MKI, most advanced multi-role fighter, originally designed by Russia's Sukhoi Corporation and built under license by a local Indian company. The
Yeah, but if what we just learned as of today, January 3rd, 2025, apparently the United States and China has gravitational propulsion technology. It doesn't matter what we're flying now.
Su-30 has a maximum
All of this is outdated. This might as well look at dinosaurs.
speed of Mach 2 and a range of 3,000 kilometers. Over the years,
And we're going to look up whatever the 6th gen fighter is afterwards, because apparently China has a
It has
6th gen fighter. I don't even know what that is.
undergone several upgrades, equipped with state-of-the-art
Am I a hardcore Christian? Absolutely not. Am I a spiritual dude? Yes. But I don't know what form of spiritual, like religion, that takes. You know what I mean? I kind of... There's some things in Christianity I take from. There's something from Hinduism that I'm taking from, and Taoism. But it's mostly be a good human being for the sake of being a good human being.
missiles, such as the BrahMos cruise missile. The Indian Air Force also operates the Mikoyan MiG-29, another Russian-made aircraft. Just like the Su-30, the MiG-29 has excellent operational capabilities. Besides Russia, the Indian Air Force also boasts a fleet of Sepicat Jaguars, which was initially purchased back in 1978 from
Those things look sick.
joint French-British. The Air Force also boasts several UAVs. The IAI Heron
Oh, well, personally, you don't care? Then why the hell did you ask?
from Israel is a medium-altitude, long-endurance vehicle primarily designed to perform strategic reconnaissance and surveillance operations. Now, all of these, from the Army to the Navy and the Air Force, indeed have enormous capabilities. Each has its own locally made vehicles equipped with advanced missiles and defense systems. It also boasts a significant chain of command and more than 1 million personnel. So to answer the question just how strong is India's military, it is no doubt that it is formidable. Only a few countries in the world have aircraft carriers and submarines, but that is also a given simply because India is, after all, one of the largest countries in the world and has
I would hope that it would have one of the largest militaries.
a huge foothold in world affairs. However, to compare India to China and the US, India still has a long way to go. According to the Global Firepower,
Seemingly, so does Russia.
they rank India's military strength as the 4th in 2023. However, that strength is obviously debatable. Actual warfare is far different from mere numbers. On
Yeah.
top of that, the website also states that India has a total of 2,210 aircraft, of which 577 are fighters, attack types at 130, and 807 are helicopters. In
So that just leaves a lot of just transportational aircraft that aren't even for fighting.
terms of land forces, there are 4,614 tanks, more than 100,000 vehicles, 3,311 towed artillery, and 1,500 rocket artillery.
What an inventory. Why is all of this public knowledge? I mean, I'm
For naval
kind of glad that it is, but like, I don't think it should be at the same time.
forces, they have 295 total assets, 2 asset carriers, 18 submarines, 11 destroyers, and 19 corvettes.
Like, that's fascinating, but 200 of our fighter jets are from the 70s and 80s. So yeah, it doesn't look like in the air you guys are too far ahead. And once more, not to dunk on you guys, it's not a dunk on you guys, it's on Russia and apparently seemingly the world. I'm going to keep saying it, but this gravitic propulsion technology, apparently the United States and China are the only ones to have it. And it completely blows me away. Maybe some countries have a secret side. Yeah, I would imagine that like the best weapons and the best of the best is not going to be public knowledge. I just don't see that. What was I going to watch? Hold on. Transportation is very important, bro. Transportation is super important. Not gonna lie, I don't want to see war now. And I read about World War One and World War Two and watch so many films. I'm scared as heck, dude. I am too, to be honest. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, then please like the video, subscribe, and if you really like it, then share it with some of your friends. My goal here is to spread a positive message while sprinkling my 2 cents on big topics like American, Indian, and world geopolitics, and even small stuff like Twitch drama and online debacles. And if you want to see it live, come join me over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/ActuallyElrod. That's where I'm going to do all my reactions, and after the reactions, that's where we get down a game. And if you're like, hey, I have a video that I want this dude to sprinkle his 2 cents on, then come over on my Discord and let me know and join the community there. And while we're at it, I have to say thank you to everybody who has made that Discord just so poppin'. I never thought I'd have a Discord that's so flowing. It's really cool to see. Shout out to you, Bobby, Omni, Demon, all of you who have been in there who are just super active. Logie, you're the man. Logie is the one who's like modding and helping run the server, so thank you, Logie. Lastly, I challenge you. I have a challenge for you. Make somebody laugh today. We all know there's enough hate and vitriol in the world. If energy is contagious like the flu, then let's spread and get everyone contagious with our positive energy, right? Not negative energy, because there's so much of that. And if we could just be a small little change in someone's day, then you never know. Maybe that's the thing that starts shifting this world to a happier, healthier, just better place. And with all of that said and done, thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.